S.A.F.E is an organization to promote fentanyl awareness for kids who don't know what it is and the dangers of it, of fentanyl poisoning.
S.A.F E stands for Students Advocating Fentanyl Education, and our main goal is to get as many students that we know and as many friends and peers to know about the dangers of fentanyl so they can educate their peers about it.
We advocate for fentanyl education. There's a lot of students who do not know about fentanyl and its dangers.
It's a peer-to-peer group where we go to different schools. We help educate kids that are the same age as us, and it's really a problem for kids that are ages 15 to 24. They'll take something, at a party or anywhere, with friends, and they don't realize that they're taking fentanyl when they think they're taking maybe an oxy or other drugs like that. They're just really being poisoned, and our goal is to educate them and help them realize that it's not what they think it is, and really that one pill can kill you, and it's killed a lot of people.
So it started like 5 or 6 years ago, and my cousin Jenna, along with some of her friends, advocated for Narcan in all of the high schools in Miami, and she was kind of my inspiration. She's always doing such cool things and pretty inspirational to look up to, someone who advocates a lot. And so I knew what Narcan was. I've heard about it, never heard about it at school or anything. And then 2 years ago, it was passed that Narcan can be in all of Miami-Dade County public schools. So I was like, oh, that's great. It's keeping people safe. And then I kind of talked to my friends about this. I started hearing on the news about fentanyl and like fake pills and how teenagers were taking these fake pills. But I knew Narcan from my cousin, not from the school. And I realized, well, teens don't know about this. I kind of asked my friends, do you guys know like fentanyl and fake pills? Like, have anyone ever talked to you about that? And I realized there was a lack of knowledge. So together, me and Gabby co-founded S.A.F E just to educate high schoolers and advocate for carrying Narcan around and educating high schoolers about the dangers of fentanyl in fake pills.
There's people who have been in really dark places. They do a lot of things to help them get out of those dark places, but at the end of the day, what they do does not help them. One of those issues include drug use. Fentanyl is a very dangerous drug. There is pharmaceutical fentanyl, but there's illicitly manufactured fentanyl as well. Even the smallest amount of fentanyl can kill you.
I have ADHD, so every single morning I take a pill for my ADHD. And sometimes kids will approach me before taking a test or an exam at school. And it'll be like, hey, can I please take one of your pills? And I'm like, no, do you not know about the dangers of fentanyl? And they look at me and they say, what's fentanyl? So that's where the problem started, and that's where I knew I had to educate my peers about the dangers of it.
In America, there are 25,077 high schools. How many bereaved parents since 2019 have there been created in America? The answer is 750,000. There's been 375,000 kids dying of this since 2019.
Greg came to our school. I go to Carroll City. He came to the school and told us about fentanyl, basically. And when I heard about his son's death of fentanyl, I felt that I could help more people if I tried and get with the program.
I learned about fentanyl when Greg Swan, a part of FentanylFathers.org, came to my school. They provided a lovely presentation to educate us on the dangers of fentanyl.
We've talked to a bunch of schools with Fentanyl Fathers. We are getting more involved, obviously, with the ambassadors now. We can spread our message all over the country.
We've been fortunate enough to partner with the Fentanyl Fathers, and if we can't go in person because we have school, we can't always present in person, we actually have a video of us, and from that, people DM us on our Instagram account and from our websites, and they're like, hey, I would love to be a part of this. Can I please be an ambassador? And right now, we have 20 ambassadors from 5 different states, and we're growing, and it's super exciting.
One aspect of S.A.F.E is an Instagram account where we post fentanyl facts that teenagers can see just scrolling through their feed, and they see a piece of advice or a piece of knowledge about fentanyl that they might take away, like, okay, maybe I shouldn't try this pill that my friend gave me. So that's one way that we educate high schoolers, as well as a website that has every resource a high schooler would need to educate themselves, to educate others, as well as Fentanyl Fathers with their help and Miami-Dade County Public Schools, and now expanding to many more counties. But when Fentanyl Fathers presents in all the high schools, they play S.A.F.E video at the end, which recruits ambassadors to continue to spread that peer-to-peer education to their high schools.
What sets it apart is we're so used to hearing from our parents, from our teachers, from our principals, don't take this, don't take that. It's bad. But when it's coming from somebody like a friend and it's a group, it's a totally different perspective, and it's really a trend. So if one person starts this group and gets their friends to kind of go along with it, it will become kind of normalized, and it will be kind of cool to know about fentanyl safety and the dangers of it, and that it's a real topic and it's a real big problem for people.
A couple of my friends went, and they told me after that they were really, really invested and intrigued about the subject, and they didn't know much about it, and they felt very informed after.
Kids who are educated by their peers is a lot more helpful. At least if I have something if an adult is lecturing me, sometimes it'll just go over my head. But if it's peer to peer, kids aren't afraid to take anything out of it. They're just gonna tell the exact truth. And I think what the most important part is that if they're hearing it from kids, they know, oh wait, shoot, maybe I should be worried about this.
We can relate to the teenagers. So if you hear something that comes from someone who looks like you, someone who's your age, someone who you sit next to in a class, you're gonna take it seriously. You're gonna know, okay, well, if they think that, I think that too, or something. There's peer influence and even peer pressure. I've seen that in high school, but you can take, instead of that negative peer pressure to, oh, take this pill, you're cool, let's make that a positive peer influence now and educate them to stay away from all those fake pills, to carry Narcan, to keep your friends, to keep yourself safe.
Personally, I don't know anyone who has struggled with addiction and had an overdose, but I've seen so many stories, and it's really heartbreaking actually to me, and I think that I want to make the biggest impact I can to help spread awareness and make it known of the dangers.
Just the fact that so many teenagers have reached out to us through Instagram, through email, through text messages, just because of the high school assembly shows this is making an actual impact. They're not just sitting at that assembly okay, I gotta skip class, let's just hear what they have to say. They're really taking in that information and wanting to continue to spread the message, which is so important. So right now we have about 55 people in a text message group chat for S.A.F.E ambassadors, and we're starting Zoom calls monthly, every 2 weeks, and giving them all the resources to host their own events and to continue to spread awareness and education. We
have reached over 30,000 students, and we've been in over 5 schools so far, and our club is only expanding nationwide.
So we have ambassadors at 2 different high schools in Michigan that are leading their own awareness projects there. We have a school in New York. In Maryland, they started a club at their school, at their high school already, and they're freshman girls, so I'm really excited to see how far it's gonna grow there. And then in Delaware, we're working with a private school there.
We actually have a PowerPoint that explains everything, how to start up your club, how to go about it, if you want to start it in your school, and it's all in this PowerPoint. And there's also safe meetings, so we have them very often where we all talk to each other, we all kind of discuss what's going on in our community, and really how we can help each other.
I just want them to know how important it is to spread awareness about the dangers of fentanyl, and that one person can make a difference in someone's lives. I think that something super important is carrying naloxone should be as common as carrying an EpiPen or wearing a seatbelt in a car. I think it should just be a daily occurrence that you don't even have to think about it. You just have it because you really never know what can happen.
In S.A.F.E, we want to educate teenagers and everyone to stay away from fentanyl, to stay away from illicitly manufactured drugs.